There's a fine line between calculated risk and unnecessary risk-taking. Here are 7 ways to identify and avoid the desire to impress others with unnecessary risk rather than sound reasoning. Do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt. In life, you often encounter moments where you must decide whether a risk is worth taking. While such risks can sometimes lead to great rewards, they can just as easily result in unnecessary trouble. The real challenge lies in distinguishing between risks that are genuinely worthwhile and those driven by a desire to impress others. We all desire admiration, and it's easy to fall into the trap of taking risks to impress others, whether through showcasing skills or bragging about achievements. However, true success comes from thoughtful, calculated decisions rather than reckless actions driven by ego. Decisions based on ego can cloud judgment, leading to unnecessary risks and poor outcomes. But not all risks are the same, and sometimes a calculated risk can change everything. Take Google's acquisition of YouTube, for example. In 2006, Google made the bold decision to acquire YouTube for $1.65 billion in stock, despite the video sharing platform generating little to no revenue at the time. The move was seen as a massive gamble, even by Silicon Valley standards, given YouTube's financial challenges and legal risks. Let me give you the background story. YouTube, founded in 2005 by 3 former PayPal employees, quickly became the go-to platform for video sharing. Despite its massive user base, YouTube struggled to monetize its content and faced legal challenges from media companies. Google, already a tech giant, had its own video service, Google Video, but it couldn't compete with YouTube's explosive growth. Seeing a major opportunity, Google decided to acquire YouTube to dominate the emerging online video market. The acquisition wasn't without its risks. Legal issues. YouTube faced potential lawsuits from media conglomerates, as many users were uploading copyrighted content without permission. Financial concerns. The platform was hemorrhaging money due to high operational costs, including server expenses to host vast amounts of video data. Uncertain business model. At the time, online video advertising was still in its infancy, and YouTube had no proven way to turn its massive traffic into profit. Despite these red flags, Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin believed in YouTube's potential to transform how people consumed video content online. The strategic vision was clear as Page and Brin saw YouTube not just as a video sharing platform, but as a cultural phenomenon. They recognized that YouTube's strength lay in its vast and engaged community. People were not only watching videos, but also creating and sharing them at an unprecedented scale. The co-founders understood that the internet was moving toward user-generated content and video consumption. Google lacked the infrastructure and user base to compete with YouTube directly, so they chose to integrate YouTube into their ecosystem rather than try to outdo it. The outcome became predictable because after the acquisition, Google took immediate steps to address the risks. Legal protections. Google struck deals with media companies and introduced Content ID, a system that allowed rights holders to claim or monetize copyrighted content. Ad monetization. YouTube pioneered new advertising models, such as pre-roll ads and creator partnerships, allowing both creators and YouTube to earn revenue. Infrastructure investments. Google's technological resources optimized YouTube's infrastructure, reducing costs and improving user experience. By 2007, YouTube became the dominant platform for online videos, and its integration with Google's advertising systems turned it into a revenue-generating machine. Fast forward to today, YouTube is one of the most visited websites in the world and generates billions of dollars annually in ad revenue. The acquisition of YouTube exemplifies a calculated risk that paid off. Google saw beyond YouTube's immediate challenges and focused on its long-term potential. It took courage to invest heavily in a platform that was losing money, but the decision was guided by a clear vision of the future of online video and a strategic plan to make it work. Ego-driven decisions affect even successful entrepreneurs. Barbara Corcoran, known for her sharp business sense on Shark Tank, admitted to making a risky investment in the Original Runner Company, a custom fabric business for weddings. Despite a strong pitch and market potential, the company struggled to scale due to its niche product and logistical challenges. Corcoran's experience shows that, even with careful planning, risks can fail, especially when driven by the desire to impress or uphold one's reputation, as she did to look good on TV. The key difference between a smart risk and a foolish one is pretty simple: reasoning. When you take a risk, ask yourself why you're doing it. Is it because it's smart, based on your goals and strengths? Or is it just because you want people to notice you? It's important to know the difference. So, how can you avoid falling into the same trap? By learning to distinguish between calculated risks and unnecessary ones. The following 7 tips below will help you evaluate risks wisely and ensure your decisions align with your goals. 1. Know your why. Before you make any decision, ask yourself, what's the real reason behind this? Is it for growth or just because it looks good? A calculated risk is often motivated by growth, opportunity, or a chance to improve. But if you're doing something just to show off or keep up with others, that's a red flag. Ask yourself if this choice will really bring value to your life. As Steve Jobs once said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. Focus on your own path and be honest with yourself about your reasons for taking the risk. 2. Understand the potential consequences. Every risk has a result, whether good or bad. It's like diving into a pool without checking how deep it is first. Think about what could happen. A calculated risk is about thinking things through. What's the upside? And what could go wrong if it doesn't pan out? You've probably heard the phrase, look before you leap. It's simple advice, but it's powerful. When you don't think things through, you're more likely to get burned. 3. Surround yourself with honest voices. Sometimes, it's easy to get caught up in the idea of impressing others. Having a group of people who tell you the truth, people who care about your well-being and want the best for you, can help you avoid falling into this trap. If you're hanging around people who just say yes or cheer you on without thinking, it's tough to make smart choices. You need voices that help you think things through. As Warren Buffett wisely said, it's better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you'll drift in that direction. Choose people who push you to think wisely and make the right decisions. 4. Know your limits. One of the easiest ways to fall into the trap of unnecessary risk-taking is ignoring your limits. We all have strengths, and we all have weaknesses. Know what you're capable of and what might be too much for you to handle. Calculated risks are about stretching your abilities, but not going so far that you risk losing everything. Remember what Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena." Be in the arena, but don't set yourself up for failure by taking on too much. 5. Look at the bigger picture. It's easy to focus on the immediate rewards of a risk, like a burst of excitement, an ego boost, or temporary admiration. But calculated risks require you to think about the long-term effects. Will this risk pay off in the future, or will it set you back? Look beyond the quick thrill and ask yourself if the risk aligns with your long-term goals. 6. Trust your instincts. Sometimes you just know when something doesn't feel right. Trust that gut feeling. It might be your brain's way of signaling that the risk is unnecessary or could lead to trouble. If you're feeling anxious or uncertain about something, that's a sign to pause and think more carefully. 7. Don't let ego lead the way. Finally, remember that taking risks to impress others is usually a sign of ego-driven decisions. If you're taking risks just to show off or prove something to others, that's not exactly smart thinking. Real growth happens when you take risks for your own benefit, not to win the approval of others. 5 tips and takeaways to expand your comfort zone wisely. If you want to move out of your comfort zone without falling into the trap of unnecessary risks, here are 5 additional strategies. 1. Define your purpose to ensure that every risk aligns with your goals and values. 2. Ask yourself, how will this challenge contribute to my growth? 3. Start small. Tackle low-stakes challenges first to build confidence and develop your decision-making skills. Small wins lead to bigger opportunities. 4. Do your homework and research thoroughly before acting. Calculated risks are informed risks based on understanding the potential rewards and challenges. 5. Consult with people more knowledgeable than you who can provide honest feedback and help you assess whether a risk is worth taking. Evaluate the worst-case scenario by understanding what failure might look like and ensure it's something you can handle. If the downside outweighs the benefit, reconsider. These tips and takeaways can help you stretch beyond your comfort zone while staying grounded in thoughtful decision-making. In the end, making smart decisions based on reason rather than ego is the key to long-term happiness and success. As Steve Jobs put it, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. But those who take reckless risks to impress others rarely change the world. They only end up hurting themselves. By following these 7 steps, you can stay grounded in your decisions and avoid unnecessary risk-taking. Remember, it's not about impressing others. It's about taking risks that are thoughtful, meaningful, and aligned with your true goals. Keep that in mind, and you'll navigate life with confidence and wisdom. Did you find this video helpful? If you found this helpful, share it with someone who could use these strategies. And don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Life Success Tips community page to join a community of like-minded individuals committed to finding their purpose in all areas of life with daily posts and weekly articles on personal growth, emotional intelligence, and habit mastery.